Nepal has, when you read the history of how the Buddha Dharma came to Tibet, like the Marpa Loza, and many other in their biography, when they, for example, Drupal lineage started from the Naropa. So Marpa Loza, when he went to receive teaching to Naropa, he came through Nepal. He stayed in Nepal, for many months, received teaching also, because Naropa's disciples were also in Nepal. Then he went to Naropa, then he went to India, and then again coming back also came to Nepal, give teaching, receive teaching, and then went back to Tibet. Similarly, the Reshungpa also, Reshungpa also came to Nepal. So anyway, I remember there was one incident in Reshungpa's biography, that when he came to Nepal, he met one yogi, but that yogi, was very, yogi kept secret what he was, practicing. So, yogi, when the Reshungpa asked yogi, what is your practice? Yogi never told him. He kept it a secret, because in the Vajrayana is called a secret lineage, because everything that you do, your practice, especially in the Vajrayana, is about to transform yourself, to understand yourself. It's not necessary to always tell others about what you are, what your achievements are, because then something called spiritual, ego also comes about. So in the Vajrayana, it's a very secret what you are practicing, what mantra. So there's a story that Reshungpa, I think in the middle of night also, he tried to follow and listen to what is the mantra, what they are reciting. There's a story like that. So anyway, the Nepal is a place where many great masters, when they go to India, they go through here. And Buddha Dharma came here a long time back. Now to talk you especially about the stupa today. So in Nepal, we have many stupas, but among all the stupa, the three, generally the stupa represents the enlightened mind of the Buddha. You have the body, physical body, the speech, and the mind. So usually the stupa represents the enlightened mind of the Buddha. So in Nepal, we have a very, especially among many other stupa, we have three sacred stupa, which are the Tango Lujin, or the place where Buddha, during one of his lifetime as a bodhisattva, gave his body to the tigress, and they built the stupa, which now local call it Nama Buddha. And then we have the Baudhanath stupa, which was built by the past life reincarnation of Guru Padma Sambhava, King Tizong Derzen, and the Khenpo Bodhisattva. In their past life, thousands of years, eons ago, they built the Baudhanath stupa, which is called Charung Khasho. And then we have the Swayambhunath. But the specialty about the Swayambhunath is that, amazing thing about Swayambhunath is that the real Swayambhunath stupa, it is said, is not the one that we can see right now. This is actually the covering from the outside. The real Swayambhunath stupa is said to be a crystal stupa, which is, floating above the ground. And it is not made by anybody, built by anybody, but due to the blessings and the aspirations of the Buddha's Bodhisattva self-arising inside the stupa. And then, in order to in the future, for, I think the Buddhas and Bodhisattva, great master, they just build the outside it. But the real stupa is a crystal stupa, self-rising stupa, which is floating in the middle, in the sky, in the inside the stupa. That is supposed to be the real Swayambhunath stupa. And aboard this stupa, it was the Bodhisattva Maitreya who asked the Buddha Shakyamuni, and here is a short explanation that Buddha himself, talked to Buddha Maitreya about the stupa, which I will read and translate. So in this sutra that I am reading, the Maitreya Buddha asks Buddha Shakyamuni, what is the history of the background of the Swayambhunath stupa, self-arising stupa? Please, Buddha, give us the teaching. From the Buddhist cosmology, in the past, people were living, people's lifespan was like endless. They lived so like uncountable. And Buddhist cosmology says that in the past, people lived for, I think, uncountable years and years. And then people started having a greed in their mind. People started fighting. People started, accumulating the 10 negative karma slowly. So then every time like that happens, people's life becomes shorter. There's a war, there's a famine, slowly. So in the Buddhist cosmology, it is said that in the past it was unlimited, then it became 100,000, 20,000. Nowadays we are supposed to be around, when Buddha Shakyamuni came, our lifespan about 100. Now I think about 60, 70. Anyway, here it says that in the past, when the human beings' lifespan were about 70,000, that time in the world, a Buddha called Buddha Tsuktorchen, or the Buddha, the crown jewel, came into this world. At that time, due to his blessing and accumulation of the aspirational Bodhisattva, this whole Nepal, especially the Kathmandu valley was nothing but a lake surrounded by the beautiful flowers and the self-arising flowers and etc. And inside this self-arising, the stupa, which is called, Buddha Shakyamuni called it Dharma Dhatu Stupa, Dharma Dhatu Stupa, because stupa represents the Buddha's mind. Buddha's mind is Dharmakaya and Dharma Dhatu. So Buddha Dharma Dhatu Stupa arise naturally during this Buddha's time. And when Maitreya Buddha asked, what is the merit of, this, what is the merit of circumambulating and of, this stupa? Then Buddha said that if people, with the devotion, if you can make a circumambulate this stupa, if you make an offering of, any offering, all these people, whatever they wish, their wishes will be fulfilled easily, very easily. And in the future, they themselves will become someone who is worshipped by the world, which means in the future you will become enlightened. And those who offer flowers and precious stones, offer flowers, in the future, they themselves will be adorned with the precious jewels. Even with a little bit of your, devotion for a moment, a respect, a bodhicitta mind, with that, if you can offer just once, little bit of incense with a devotion, pure mind, that sentient being in the future life will be born as a human and the God realm. And their body and the clothes will naturally have a pleasant odor. If you offer a lamb here, in the future you will, all your life you will be born intelligent, wisdom. In the future, see the wisdom of your own nature of the mind and become enlightened. Similarly, those who offer, the little bit of food here, in the future they will have to accumulate the merit to become the king of the universe. So, etc. and etc. Then and those who do the circumambulation, in future life they will remember their past life. They will have a radiant color, long life. Having children, daughter, whatever they want, being worthy of worship by all the sentient being. And who praises this stupa will get blessings Anyway, now I think that if I go into detail, it's very long. Basically, so anyway, he said that this is just a small part of the merit that he's explaining. And now, coming back to the 13 Kora, why we do the 13 Kora. Actually, I think that today all of you, depending on your health, some of you may have a knee problem like myself also, I think Venerable Changshup also to us, maybe we can do few Kora and then go and do 100,000 lamb offering also. Don't feel bad, yeah. And some of you who have the right now good karma to have a good health, I think Kamtang Rinpoche and many of the nuns will be doing the 13 Kora. So whatever you do, whatever you decide to do, if you please don't feel that, that it has to be 13 Kora. If you cannot do 13 Kora, then even though your knee is paining, even though you are very sick, you have to do. I don't want to push people like that, because as a beginning, I said that positive and negative karma is determined by your mind. If the mind doesn't have the motivation, and then you are, just being forced by somebody. When it comes to dharma, it doesn't work like that. When it comes to discipline, yes, you have to force yourself, but when you do the dharma from your heart, is very important. So that is why you can decide. But I wanted to tell you what is the reason we do 13 Kora, especially because in the Vajrayana, the level of enlightenment, in the Mahayana, it's 11 is the state of the Buddhahood. In the Vajrayana, the 13 is the state of the Vajradhara. I think that is one of the significance. And also the previous great master, Chapje Tunjum Rinpoche, he said that those who can do 13 Kora, especially on the holy month like today, the Namgang, and then half we'll be starting the Sakadawa, the Vesak month. Those who do that, their whatever negative karma they've accumulated will be purified, and their merit, amount of tremendous amount of merit accumulated, and their wishes fulfilled. So now, being a Buddhist, if you are not a Buddhist, then you have to say that, everything that happens in my life is because of the God, because of the divine being. Now, if you are a Buddhist, then you have to, everything comes from karma, positive karma, negative karma. And positive and negative karma is not defined by only action, but defined by intention, right? For example, if somebody stabs you, he is a murderer. But if somebody with the medical skills operates on you, he's also stabbing, but that's called doctor saving my life. Depends on intention. So that is why in the Buddhism, firstly, positive and negative experience in our life come from karma, and positive and negative karma is determined by our intention. So that is why having a very good intention, is very important. So intention also, I will say that there are 3 levels of, the intention you can have. The first intention is that, I have so much of suffering in my life. I'm going through this problem, that problem. And as Buddha has said that all your suffering doesn't happen by accident, is not caused by some being, but it arises due to your negative karma. In the past life, we kill others, that's why we have a short life. In the past life, we create unhappiness for others. We don't control our temper. That is why in this life, we are very lonely. We have beat other people, we beat others, abuse other sentient beings. That's why we have a health problem. Everything arises due to negative karma we have accumulated in the past or present life. And positive karma arises also from the positive karma. So that is why if you think that today I want to do 13 Kora because I am going through this and this difficulty in my life, in the future also I don't want to go through difficulties in my life, I want to have a happy life, peaceful life, successful life. That's also a motivation. There's nothing wrong with that. That is called motivation. That is also one motivation. Then the second level of motivation is that, for me to be happy, to be successful, to have a good family is not enough. Because no matter what a wonderful experience I have in a so-called success in our life. Life itself is like a dream. You know? In the dream, you have a happy dream, sad dream, but when you wake up, that is it. Similarly, no matter what experience we go through, when the time of death comes, we have to leave everything behind. And according to karma, again, we have to take rebirth, and I don't know what kind of experience we'll go through. And if we have, there is no, experience we have not gone through in a past life. We will continue to go cycling existent. So I want to be liberated from this cycling existent. That is the second kind of motivation. And the third motivation is called the Mahayana or Bodhisattva motivation, is that today I want to do Kora, not only for myself, not only for my liberation, but because of, on this such a special stupa, on such a holy occasion, with a Dhamma brother and sister, I want to do 13 Kora, I want to do lamb offering, so that myself and all the sentient being in this life also may we be free from sickness, suffering, wars and difficulty, in this life. In the future, may we be born, have a positive rebirth, and ultimately, may all of us become enlightened, may all of us become a Buddha. So that kind of aspiration is the highest of aspiration, but that is something you all have to decide for yourself, what kind of aspiration you want to have. And then the last thing is the promise. If you are in good health and you want to do the 13 Kora, then the most important is the promise and the vow. You have to make a commitment that yes, in my life I have done so many, difficulty I have gone through, but for what purpose? Sometimes we go through a lot of difficulty for money, for a cup of cake, for some experiences, short-lived experience. But today I am going to utilize my body for the benefit of all the sentient beings in my own life. So no matter what, I am going to complete the 13 Kora. And that is the determination that you must have. Motivation, determination. So that determination will carry you through the difficulty. And then tomorrow morning, the dedication, of your accumulation of merit. So these three, I will say, motivation, dedication, the determination, and then the dedication, So these three are very much you have to keep in mind.